Kurt. Ow. Cut the tag out. A little crooked. Right there. Looks okay. Oh. Hey, Tommy Jackie, how's it going? I'm typing something. How's it going? Tommy Jackie, how's it going? Okay, I'm getting it up there. Thank you. Happy St. Patrick's Day. How you guys doing? It was okay. Okay, I'm getting it up there. I gotta turn this off. Okay, stop listening. I'm trying to read it here because it's usually bigger. Thank you very much. We got rid of the storms and tornadoes and everything else. Oh, and now we got fires. Holy cow. Huge, huge fire. And we got the astronauts coming back. It's very busy. Very, very busy. How was everybody's day? Happy St. Patrick's Day, Bridget. Hey, Mazar. Gonna be a busy night. So we got the astronauts coming back tomorrow. I forgot about that. I had a tough time getting on. I don't even know what time it is. 10 after. It took me 10 minutes. Now we got helicopters flying all over the place. And a huge fire on the adjacent island. I was like, great. Now we got cops everywhere. No, I'm in the southern part of the U.S. on the East Coast. So we got a lot happening here tonight. So I don't know how long this is actually going to last. We've had trouble all day. I couldn't even open the iHeartRadio for a couple of hours. And then Trump was leaving, and that causes a ruckus. It's like nothing was, we had nothing. We just got everything back. We did okay here, but above me and below me got whacked with tornadoes. huge tornado went through Fort Lauderdale. This crazy video of a girl, she's sitting on a balcony. It went right through the heart of the city with like 20-story high rises. And she's on a balcony in one of these huge, huge apartment buildings. It's going right by her as she's filming, standing in front of her sliding glass doors to her balcony. That chick was crazy. She was frozen. She couldn't move. And I'm thinking, why are you standing right there with the tornado on the other side of the glass? Now it's getting smaller as it's getting to her, but it was like weaving in and out of the city. It is the scariest footage I've ever seen of tornadoes. You see them wiping out cornfields. This was zigzagging through like New York City. Fort Lauderdale's got huge, huge, tall condos and hotels down there. That's really the only place that has it. It's crazy. It's like Orlando. That was madness. They had like, I think it was 75 tornadoes just last night. That was crazy. So I didn't hear of anything yet. You know, God forbid they put that on the news, then you won't come here. You know what I mean? They selectively put that stuff on the news. It could be, it's probably on YouTube everywhere, but it's not on the radio. It's not on our local news. Just little 3-second clips of it. They don't want to scare everybody into not coming for the summer. But this is our big beginning to tornado season. This is what we get before the hurricanes start. We get tornadoes and these crazy storms. Crazy stuff. Look up the footage of the tornado going through Fort Lauderdale. It was scary. It was a big one. It was black. That was crazy scary because there's houses and buildings like stores, all low stuff with these big huge buildings sticking up, and it was just like a maze through. I don't even know. That was the only footage I saw, was that girl standing on her balcony and she was crying. She's like, what do I do? I don't know what to do. That's all she kept repeating. I don't know what to do. Oh my God, what do I do? Where do I go? What do I do? Where do I go? And she's freaking out. And she was so scared she couldn't even move away from the window. Thank God it went by. I was freaking. And I was like, well, if somebody, how else did it get on YouTube if she wasn't okay, you know? I don't think that cell phone would have made it through a tornado throwing it 200 miles an hour at something. But yeah. Hey Bonnie, how's it going? Yellow Bandit, sorry, hey. I was mixing you and Frank. So supposedly everybody was okay. We won't know until tomorrow. Because, you know, they still got to confirm it. It's like, dude, we're looking at home movies of it. It's like, yeah, okay. But we had a bunch. We had one right up above me. Went through, tore up some places pretty bad. Other places were just demolished yesterday. That was some hell of a storm. And it got very loud around here for a while. And the van was shaking and shaking all night long. And the wind is very low. When the wind comes off the ground, like in the wintertime when it snows and the wind sweeps you off your feet, like if you've ever been in a bad snowstorm in the Northeast or up in the northern part, it just comes down and knocks you off your feet. When the wind knocks you off your feet, when you're in the South, that's tornado possibilities. It just comes down and goes back up like this in a circle, and then it starts spinning sideways. It's scary. You can actually see how it does it. It's creepy. I don't like it. But being in a tornado in my house and the hurricane, it had to be a tornado when I was talking with the fireman and explaining what happened after, and the housing inspector guy who had come to see my house before he threw me out. The house lifted from one Hurricane Ian and lifted my house up over 3 feet. in the air sideways like this. It was a double wide, so it only took half the house. It came under and just lifted half, and what it did was it separated the roof when it dropped back down. And I went from sitting on the sofa to standing up, with the sofa falling on top of me. That's how high we went up in the air. He said we must have lifted it almost 5 feet straight sideways and then came crashing back down. I had the cat on my lap. Then we had Hurricane Nicole, came from the other direction. It lifted my carport out and then lifted that side of the house up, and it almost fell like on top of us. And then it just dropped it back down, and that was it. No more water, no more floor, no more nothing. So, besides about 2 feet of water after 36 straight hours of rain between those two storms each, we had like 27 straight hours of rain, and 140-mile-an-hour wind from Ian just destroyed this East Coast over here too. And we never made the news. Only the West Coast did. Nobody even knew nothing happened over here. 300 people got thrown out on the same, like the guy showed up on Friday at my house. From Friday morning, they went on a 60-mile stretch of the road we were on over here by the beach and kicked out 300 individual houses from Monday to Sunday. That was it. You got 5 hours, get your stuff, get out, you can't come back. And deemed our property hazardous at the house, that we couldn't even go back in to get anything. Yeah, we were right on the other side of one of the islands, the barrier islands. And that was bad. That was bad. And I thought 300 houses? I thought they meant 300 families. And they, no. 300 houses got kicked out. Each house had a minimum of 2 people living in it, up to 6. You know how many people that is? Holy moly. We were looking at like 6, 7, about 1,500 people had nowhere to go. All in a 24 to 30, 40-hour span. I was like, no wonder the campground was crowded that weekend. That was nuts. But yeah, now with this, Jesus, I'll tell you, from being in that house to going through it now, I've been through them in a car before, obviously, as a kid and stuff. You get caught up in the hurricanes. They catch you early, you're trying to evacuate. It's, it's bad. And I'd rather ride that out in my car. I'm sorry. I am sorry. No way. I would never sit inside a house during a hurricane ever again. I had 20-foot vaulted ceilings in that double wide. You know how heavy and how far that's now crashing down at you, picking up speed? You have 15 feet of a huge, it was a 2-bedroom. It could have been a 3-bedroom, house. We had enough room to put on another bedroom, 2 bathrooms. That place was huge. It was like 50 feet long by 40 feet wide. And I was just lucky that the roof didn't fall in. It was only 4 years old. My dad, before he passed, had just put a roof on. And thank God that he had done that, or that old roof would have caved in on top of us. The walls were all buckling. The whole thing was coming down. So they kicked us off when DeSantis was signing that paper. After he waited 18 months to sign a paper saying that we could stay on our property until the repairs were made. I had gotten rid of the house and signed it over to somebody else because I shouldn't still be alive right now. Let's just put it that way. The radiation treatments that we did got me this far now. So I had signed the house over to somebody else because I didn't want them to have to go through the court. I had no relatives left, so I was leaving the house to a friend. So I signed the house over to my friend, thinking, let's do this now. You know, I don't know how much time. We're guessing, we're trying to extend what I have left. So I have no idea. So I gave the house to the friend. My friend took off. She moved. I couldn't find her. She forgot about the house, not even thinking about it, thinking that they would let her know when something happened to me. I couldn't find her. So the house, I believe, she couldn't afford when she found out how bad the damages were. It was awful. And you can abandon a property if you can't afford to fix it and you're not getting the insurance money for it. And as long as we didn't take insurance money, you can walk away. It's like a bankruptcy. And then the state comes in for the unpaid property taxes and they auction it off. So they get their property taxes back for that year. But DeSantis was supposed to sign them Friday morning the day I got kicked out, and he didn't. He decided to wait until Monday because they were busy with something. So because he hadn't signed the papers on Friday when he was supposed to, that gave them the go-ahead to kick out the 300 other houses that were damaged because they waited 18 months to come over here. They were so busy over there. All the handymen took off. Nobody could fix their houses. Every single man who had a hammer and knew how to fix a house took off and was just gone, left us hanging. People were trying to do it themselves. They were over there making a fortune, getting contracts from the government. Everybody was gone. We had about 6 houses in my trailer park that got hit real bad. Nobody could find anybody. I kept going to them. Did you find anybody? It's like, no, because they're all over there. All my guys, they're gone. They left. They're not coming, and they're probably not even coming back. And I was like, they got so much work, they don't have to. So we all got messed up. Hey, Carrie. Hey, Kim. That was it. So the FEMA money ran out. We didn't even get the $2,000. Nothing. We walked away with nothing. We weren't allowed to fix the houses before they came and inspected them to give us the $2,000 for the damage. So the houses, everybody's house got moldy. Same over there too. It took them 18 months to get a permit. Well, 18 months, your house, you weren't even allowed to pull stuff down and throw it out until somebody physically walked in and looked inside the house. Well, of course, all the houses went moldy because you couldn't fix it. That made no sense. People were living over here since Ian, I'm not kidding you, with a tarp on their roof since Hurricane Ian. Still trying to get the paperwork for that. It was 4 years ago this year. That's ridiculous. And they think they're going to get that straightened out over there? Good luck with that. But, yeah, I don't know how you guys live out there in Tornado Alley, man. You guys got guts. Same as staying here with the hurricanes, but, you know, it's crapshoot. But that, you people, I hand it, bravo. You got guts. Those things scare the hell out of me. I don't like them. We got hit 3 times. We were, when we first got here, I think we just missed it when we first moved here in 2015. It was 2016, yes, because my grandmother had already passed. Tornado grabbed the back of the house and now started lifting it from the back of the house this way forward. The whole house lifted up. It just ripped up the whole back. It was going like this. We're laying in bed and all of a sudden now you're standing up. You're like this in bed, like, oh shit. You know, that wasn't a good, I was rethinking that after my grandma had died. Like, should we really be staying here? He was freaking out. He had ridden one out in a huge hotel He didn't even feel it, notice it. Crying. The man was crying. This is one of the toughest son of a bitch, manliest men you'll ever meet in your life. He was screaming like a little girl, holding on to me, and I'm looking at him. He's like, why aren't you freaking out? I said, because I lived through this already. I said, and I can't. I'm not allowed to. He says, the first responder shit. he said, you should be screaming with me. I said, I'm sorry. I'm programmed not to freak out when stuff goes wrong. I wanted to. I was crying like a little girl by myself holding the cat on the couch. And we were just lucky that the couch didn't fall on us. That sucker is heavy. It's weighted furniture. A lot of stuff down here, the furniture is very heavy. So that if people use that furniture to weight down mobile homes. The couch that flipped up had to weigh about 1,000 pounds, and I'm not kidding you. This was some crazy ass heavy furniture. The table weighed 800 pounds. It was a stone, oak, leg, petrified wood table. He couldn't even move it. He could lift 400 pounds. Him and his son could barely move the coffee table out of the way when we were trying to fix the floors. It took 4 men to move the sofa. 8 feet. That was it. We only had to move it 8 feet out of the way. 4 guys. And it just, phew. That's all I kept thinking was, God, please don't let this trap us on top of that coffee table. Mouse and I would have got crushed. Big time. But it was memory foam, so maybe it would have gave a little bit. I would have been there for a week before anybody realized I wasn't outside. I'm telling you, that part scared me about being trapped. And then when I brought in, he's sitting there, I said, I gotta go get the tools and stuff. He says, all right. I said, where's your electric saw and an extension cord and stuff? Hey, Mr. Simon. I brought in a sledgehammer, 2 crowbars, his reciprocating saw, which is like a jigsaw blade that's like a foot long. Anything that we had powered with batteries on it. I had charged all the tool batteries and stuff, and a bunch of other things. And he's looking at hammers and stuff like that. And I'm putting them in the bedroom where we're going to ride out the storm. He said, what the hell is all that for? I'll need that outside for fixing stuff. If something happens to the house. I said, honey, if something happens to the house, how are we getting out? You going to dig us out when the roof falls down? And the walls cave in and we're buried underneath oh, shit. He said that I shouldn't have told him that, but he needed to know in case something happened to me. You know what I mean? And I'm there to tell him what to do. You know what I mean? So he realized that the second tornado that came after this, he had half the tool shed in the bedroom. He went out and bought a chainsaw, gassed it up. He said, I don't need that shit. He comes in with the chainsaw. He said, I'm going to cut our way out. But that's the sad reality, is that people don't do that. That's why they get stuck in the houses. I know it sounds insane, but what are you going to do if your house collapses on top of you? How are you getting out? You know, you could get stuck in a little thing. Like, what if you're in the bathtub and the ceiling comes down? How are you getting out of the bathtub with the ceiling, with your whole roof on top? You're going to lay in the bathroom with your little saw, so in case anything happens, you can get out. That was the best advice I ever saw my uncle give us. And my stepfather. But, yeah. Keep your little chainsaws in the bedroom during hurricane season. That's what you guys need to do up in Tornado Alley up there. Oh, thank you. I tried to get on my green. Even got my little green shorts. My swim shorts. It's hot. It's cold today. I had to bust out the sweatpants this morning after the winds of war, and the rain came back at 2. It didn't stop raining like it was supposed to stop at I forgot what time they said. 9. Then it rained until about 11. It was over on the other side of me. It was being hammered, just completely hammered, with the wind and little finger. They call spin-ups. They don't call tornadoes. So if you're ever watching the Florida news, they say little spin-ups. Yeah. They're pretending they're talking about dust devils, but they're really talking about tornadoes. I saved one of the forecasts as a girl with a striped dress on. She goes, you might get an occasional spin up. She's like goofing. I was like, idiot. You got tourists here now. Be honest. Don't kill the tourists. They got to come back next year. They're coming back at Christmas. Oh my God. The traffic. There's a dude. He does all these Florida videos. He does shorts where he's pretending to be the love bugs or the bees or, an alligator under your car and stuff. It's like what non-Floridians need to know. I'll take a picture of his site and put it up. He just did one on the traffic with everybody coming back who's part-time. They finally got a break in between snowstorms, and they just flooded the area. Always this week, everyone's usually back by St. Patty's Day. But then they'll be gone again by Memorial Day. So we get the flash in the pan, where they're here for 6 months and then they're gone again because they can't take the heat. They come to thaw out for about 4 months and then they leave again. My trailer park had 200 spots. Only 75 of us were year-round. It was beautiful. It was lovely. But this wind is wild. We get the same wind as you, Mr. Simon. And you too, Carrie. It just doesn't stop. We get like when the Santa Ana winds kick up in California, we get the exact same thing over here. The wind goes from 25 to 40 miles an hour overnight with gusts of 60. I couldn't get out of the car yesterday. It was so windy. People were falling over. They were holding on to the cars, to poles at the supermarket. I was like, I'm not getting out. This big guy is getting knocked around. He couldn't even make it from the car to the Publix to the wall to hold on to yesterday. I was like, oh, no way. I'm going to blow away in the wind like a leaf. Forget it. I'll be crawling on my hands and knees back to the car. That's insane. Oh, man. But it's the low wind where it comes like from 6 feet across that down to the floor. That I don't like because it was feet. You could feel the car starts going up a little bit, down, and you're bouncing up and down. And I was like, wait, I was just going sideways. What happened to that? It was like rocking me to sleep, and then I'd wake up because I fell asleep. I was like, don't fall asleep. Then the rain stopped about 11. And then about 1:30 in the morning, friggin' thunder, and the van's going like this. It's howling. I had opened the windows to get some air in here. And the next thing you know, frickin' rained until about 4 a.m. Just poured like it did in the afternoon. It was like somebody was throwing buckets of water at the windshield. But, yeah, I know I'd still rather ride it out. At least I could drive away from it. There in the house, I felt, especially without him, he died in November, and we had a storm like 4 weeks later. Not even. That was scary. And then Ian and Nicole, I forget the name of the one that came, it was Andrew. The second Hurricane Andrew that had just happened. That was 2016. That's the one that lifted the house up when we were crying in the bedroom. Hugging, holding on. Holding on to the bed, holding on to each other. The cat was hiding under the blankets. That poor cat. But, oh, it is. Yeah. It's very loud. I had to wear my headphones because I couldn't hear this over the wind. When I was out here with that other woman last summer with Nicole and first we went through, what was it, Milton and Helene, and then I went through this one, and then we had the one after that. I forget. I'm losing track of the names. They keep coming in pairs. That's what's screwing me up. You got to remember 2 names each because they're coming back to back now. But we're gonna have an early one, but only 5 major hurricanes instead of 17 this year. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But it was easier kind of in the van than in the house, I think, because I don't want I got a thing about claustrophobia, kind of, since I had it when I was little. I'm all right when I know I can get out of somewhere small. I can be inside a box. It doesn't bother me. But if I can't get out, oh, forget it. Forget it. I was crying during, oh, it was embarrassing. During Hurricane Sandy, we lost the electricity, and I was on my way up to my apartment. Yeah, I know, only 5, right? The chat is very slow because the astronauts are coming back and idiots are flying planes where they shouldn't be. Still. Ay, ay, ay. So every once in a while, everything just, and it slows down and just stops. What the hell was I talking about? Oh, so I also have a thing about heights. I'm very scared of heights. I went parasailing trying to kill that. And I did good. Didn't pee myself, only screamed for about 2 minutes of the half an hour. Uh, I enjoyed it in the end. I wanted because my dad's a paratrooper. I wanted to know what it was like. He explained what it was like. And it's quiet. There's no wind. There's nothing. You can't hear a sound. All of a sudden, as you're going up, you hear shh with the wind. Then all of a sudden, you go up so far, nothing. Nothing. There's not any. You can feel the wind, but you can't hear it. So either I freaked out and was so scared I went deaf, but I don't think so. But I was going upstairs during Hurricane Sandy. I don't know what the hell I was getting. And all of a sudden, the lights went out. And I was all the way upstairs. I was going upstairs to talk to the guys on the roof. We had a bunch of Homeland Security people and, everybody. We were using the top floor because we could see all over from New York all the way down to the end of Hoboken from the 8th floor apartments up there. We kicked everybody out, got them into friends and neighbors and families' houses, and we took over the top floor like we did on 9/11. Not reading a thing. Yeah. Yeah. For the summer, that's what I'm going to do. Uh, at the end of the month, I just got 2, and the problem is I can't really stock up on that stuff. I don't want that in the car. But I want to get 2 more cans, so 4 is a lot. I don't like carrying that in here, but yeah, tell him to stock up on the butane. If he can find butane. I can't find butane anymore. No one's selling it. They're not selling the hairspray can that you put in here, only the butane. So I got one that takes both, just in case I can only find one or the other. You can mail it to your house. You can buy it through Amazon. because they'll leave it on the porch. But I don't know about buying butane through the regular post office, and you cannot have it sent to a UPS box, I asked. Otherwise, you can get a case of it, and he's better off doing that because those cans are $2 a piece. Walmart, when they sell them for $7.99 a can. They went from $2.25 to $8 a can. And then Walmart is separating the propane, the little green canisters. These guys, Walmart is taking them apart. They're 2 for $10. Walmart's charging $7 a can. They're pulling them apart. I'm losing my voice because we got that fire in the crap. $7 a can instead of 2 for $10. Home Depot, 2 for $10.99. They're the only ones not separating the double pack. And you can see because they'll pull one off and they still leave the strap that holds the little handle so you can carry the 2 of them. They're jerks. So next week I'm going to go back to Home Depot. Dookie's doing good. Dookie's not with me anymore. I was a foster mommy for Duke. I toyed with the idea of keeping him. I wanted to. I did. But it was very hot last summer, and he's a energetic little doggy. I taught him how to catch a frisbee, do all kinds of tricks with the balls and stuff like that. And he just wanted to run and play, and, it's hard in that park, for him to be on their leash, and, you can't just take him off and play frisbee every day. And he was good with that. Also, he wasn't sleeping at night. He's a puppy. He was only 1 year old in November, and he wasn't sleeping at night because all the people walking back and forth through the parking lots at night. So it was all right that he was up all day watching out the windows, Mr. Security Guard, little Pip. That dog was more like a I don't know, German Shepherd, little pit bull guard dog. He was not your average Chihuahua. Duke was not. He's a mixed breed, and I forget the name of the dog he's mixed with, but they're very territorial about them. They're not a regular Chihuahua. You know what I mean? Totally different dog. It's like a miniature. He was like a Chihuahua pit bull, okay, or a German Shepherd or a Rottweiler, okay. He did not like people coming near his house, and he never got a chance to rest. He was every noise he'd sleep for an hour, and then I'd wake up and he was in the window again. So he's awake all day, awake all night. He never had a chance to rest and be safe in his own home, And I felt bad, he's constantly on the little leash right at the park, and I got to worry about him running away, and there are a lot of big dogs. I felt bad. I didn't want him to live in the van. I loved him that much. I couldn't keep him. I couldn't. And I met the guy. He's an ex-vet, and he's horse trainer. Like when you buy a horse, you hire this guy to teach you how to walk your horse, how to exercise it. And then that's what he does for a living. He teaches people one-on-one how to take care of their own horse. And then that's his side gig. And then his job is that he works on a horse ranch and he takes care, exercising the horses, washing them, brushing them. So he liked Duke. Duke liked him. And Duke got used to the horses because of the park. He wasn't afraid of them anymore. I made him make friends with them. And I thought about it, but it was 115 degrees last summer. I don't got no EcoFlow, I don't have anything like that. The parks are almost $50 a night in the summer. You can't afford to sleep in the campgrounds over the summer rates. That's it. Everything went from $22 a night to $25 a night to $32 to $38. Now they're $45. And no discounts. Not for Florida residents, not for senior, not for handicap, not for veterans. All the discounts were taken away when they gave everybody a flat $15 an hour to work in the state parks. that killed all of the people who live here getting any discount. It's like, idiots, where do you think all the hurricane people are supposed to go until their houses is ready? We live in the state parks. That's why all those campgrounds are there. Nobody's figured that out yet. That's where we go when you're waiting for your house to get fixed. Now we can't get in. Now you might as well just rent a hotel room for what, 9 months? $200 a night? Who the hell's got that? You know? It's ridiculous. So we have nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. And they let you make reservations up to 2 years in advance. You can't. I have been here for 10 years. I have not gotten into Jetty State Park, which is right across from Cape Canaveral, 10 years. They are booked every single day because they let them make reservations for 2 years in advance. You can't even get in for the day, let alone spend the night. I've been there 6 times in 10 years. I just went again a couple of months ago. I took the ride up there. I don't know if you remember me bitching about it. I took a 4-hour ride for nothing. When I got there, the lady's like, we're booked until like 2026. This was in 24. I was like, you're kidding me, right? I was like, I've been here 10 years. I've never once set foot in that state park. So, I don't know. I felt bad. And he was happy. He needed a man. He's very energetic, kind of. Duke would have been a good show dog, you know, running those little mazes and, you know, and I told him all of that. And I showed him, I threw the Frisbee. Duke jumped up in the air about 4 feet, grabbed it, did a backflip, and landed like, woo, just like this. And I was like, you see, I can't do this all day with him, not out here. He's not allowed off the leash in that park at all, because in the dog park, a German Shepherd puppy and a adult pit bull, which they were supposed to have muzzles on them inside the fenced-in doggy park, you know. The pit bull grabbed the shepherd, hurt him pretty badly. The little puppy lived 5 surgeries to save that dog. He'll probably never walk right again. They thought it broke its back. He just grabbed him and kept shaking him and shaking him. And I heard the screaming. I thought it was a little kid fell off their bike, you know, fell off their electric bike and broke their arm or something. And Duke was huge. He was huge. He was almost 18 pounds. I brought him into Publix to put him on the scale. He was 17 pounds. It was only a year old. He was going to be, by the time he's done, by the time he's 4 years old, he'll probably be about 27 pounds. He exploded. He went from a size small vest to a large in 1 week. I woke up one day and it was like, I was like, damn. I went to pick him up. I couldn't pick him up. I was like, how heavy are you now? And he's gonna keep growing. Dude's not a little chihuahua. He's gonna be a big dog. Big dog. So I figure that's good. You know, he got along. He needs a, you know, some dogs need a mommy. Some dogs need a daddy, you know. Duke was all boy. He was just all boy, you know. He needed a daddy to play with, to wear his ass out. And they got along very well, so I told him if anything happens, you know, just call me and I'll come get him, you know. So I told him I don't want to see him because I don't want to confuse him. You know, we didn't send him with his toys. I kept everything. He just took him out for a walk. He went with him willingly, so he went for a little walk. He says, I'm going to get him by my car. I got some snacks in there. I said, okay, let's see what happens. He said, if I get him in the car. I said, if he gets in your car, you shut the door and you go. We're going to rip it off like a Band-Aid. He says, okay, you're sure? I said, yes, I'm sure. He says, okay. And he walked over. He had, I think, some beef jerky or some shit in the car. Juke jumped right in the truck. He's eating the jerky. He shut the door nice and slow. He waved to me. I waved to him. I got back in the car, and he drove the long way out. And that was it. That was it. And I was like, okay, that's it. So everything's been good. I haven't heard anything. So, oh, Lord. Hey, Cheryl, how's it going? I'm just catching up. I'm sorry. I'm losing track of this again. Tasha, hello. I'm sorry I missed you. I'm trying to scroll back up just to see. I think I got everybody. Okay, yeah, Carrie. But, yeah, that's something down here. Yeah, boys are different, you know, even Mouse, the cat, you know. Mouse played games. Mouse was raised by a dog, a Friesian Bichon, so he's part cat dog. He used to growl at the door when someone would show up, like a dog. Literally, he sounded like a dog growling at the door. But, oh, there's people outside. But, yeah. Boy animals, the temperament. And he would look beautiful. He would have been a show dog. You know, the last picture I took of him, I was like, this guy needs to take him, you know. He could probably get him into that and do those little races where the little dogs race in between and the doggy Olympic things. He would be excellent at that. I was teaching him that in the car. I made different levels. And I would throw something, he'd be bing, 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 bouncing off of everything up and down, grabbing it, and then coming back the exact same way. I was like, okay, he's smart. He'll learn this. So I felt bad. He had a lot of potential. No, I know my Mr. Mouse's mustache. I miss my little man. I miss him terribly. I was just watching, I'm gonna cry thinking about it, damn it. Adventuring with Amanda. She had to put Winston down. Oh my, I got 3 minutes into her video. And I'm looking over here at my little mouse thing, and I was like, I was crying for a half an hour. Crying for a half an hour. I tried to watch the end of it. I can't. I can't watch the video where she's telling you what she had to do. I left her a very long comment on just what I heard in the beginning as she was there, you know, with her mom putting him down. That was the most heartbreaking, horrible crap on the planet. God, it was awful. It was awful. And then after was awful, and it's like her first 2 or 3 days without him in the car. I was like, I can't even think about her. That poor woman, you know. I was like 20 years with my mouse, you know. We found him in the woods, dying, starving. His brothers and sisters were about to eat him. They were attacking him. They were going to eat him. He was the runt of the litter. Mouse was a Maine Coon mix. And he was the tiny one. And Mouse was huge. Mouse was huge. Mouse was like 25 pounds. He was enormous. Enormous. Not chubby like Van Life Plus's Penny, okay, not big and round. He was just huge cat. Huge cat. Those are big cats, the Maine Coons. He was a Maine Coon father with short hair, domestic all black mother. So that's what Mouse was. He didn't have the big, he had the fur, like he would fuzz out like crazy with the big ears and stuff, but he had a soft face. He didn't look mean like a lion like those other cats. They're scary looking. I can't watch the rest of the videos either, girls. No. I feel bad. I just keep putting it on and liking it, and then I turn the volume down and play it. I can't watch her cry. I was like, it's only been 2 days. I said, lady, it's 2 years. I'm missing mouse every day, especially at night. You can't sleep because they're not there. I don't know what I'm having for dinner. I think soup tonight. I was gonna go get something, but I keep hearing cop cars going past, and St. Patrick's Day, I parked, that's it. I said, what I got in the car is it. Maybe peanut butter and jelly tonight, I think. Uh, but yeah. So what else is new? Have we gone through all the current events yet? Hey, Shannon, there you are. Yeah, we got on tonight. We're hoping to stay on at least a little while. Between the storms, and I forgot the astronauts are coming back tomorrow. I think they splash down at 7 p.m. tomorrow. That's going to be fun. That poor woman. I feel so sorry for them. Thank God they're coming home. I want to know if they're married, those astronauts, you know? Jesus. Just ditched in outer space. The weather's good now. It's cold. It feels good. I'm trying to enjoy it because it's going to be gone real soon. By April 15th, it's going to be almost 90 degrees. I know it. You can feel it. It got so hot last week, and the other day it was supposed to, and then the storm came and got bigger. And they started freaking everybody out on the news. Did you see the video of the tornado hitting the news station that I put up? It's in the Post. It's a man, and it says Florida Weather TV station. I think it was the big one, like the Channel 2. I think that's NBC. It's West 2 News. While they're doing the tornado thing yesterday or the day before, and giving the alerts out for the specific streets and telling you, they Google map and they tell you if you live on from 700 to 1400 on Maple Drive, get in your bathtub now. It's coming down the street, and they can actually pinpoint and tell you what street it's on now. So hooray for Google Maps. At least we have that. The weathermen do better than anybody else does. So while the guy's telling people to take cover, another guy comes running in, screaming into the studio, tornado, tornado, everybody get down. It was like a producer, and he ran back out. He said, what? And the building starts shaking while they're live on the air. Go through the Post and look for that one. It was only within the last 2 days. Not the one with the weather girl with the striped dress on. You're looking for one with a guy going. Yeah. The studio lights were shaking. It was crazy. It blew right outside. It was hitting their building in the middle of Orlando. I was like, oh, shit. Oh, man. Oh, you watched that video, Kim? It was good, right? Oh, that poor guy. Ah, ah. I started to watch it, and then like in the middle, I was getting tense, and I'm like, why is this bothering me so much? I said, oh shit, I know why. From 9/11, they're all hiding under their desks. When the first plane came for the trade towers, it blew less than 100 feet over the building I was in when it was over New Jersey. It flew directly over the shipping pier and almost hit the crane. So as he went up, we had a big glass ceiling, and we thought some lady from Nebraska was working with us, and she says, it's a tornado. I'm like, it's the middle of September. What the hell is she talking about? Next thing you know, we hear the rumbling, and she's screaming, it's a tornado, and it's getting really dark. And we look up, and all of a sudden we see giant letters and numbers go by the big glass roof. And I said, it's an airplane. Everybody dove under the desk. It was just like it was on that news thing. Oh, man. I was like, I couldn't even watch that still. No, Teresa, there's no, I mean, it's hard. But these guys down here, they do a good job, and they stay on. They don't go off. I listened to a couple of them, and I forgot, especially during the hurricanes on WMMB 92.7. When we have a hurricane, there's a group of 5 people who lock themselves up in the transformer station. It's a little concrete bunker. It's all concrete. The whole thing is just a big concrete little room about the size of a mobile home. Itty bitty little thing. And they have the transmitter there. They have one on the ground and the big antenna that shoots up 200 feet in the air. They barricade themselves in there with food and water, and they stay on live during the hurricane. It's a call-in show. So people, instead of them freaking out in their houses or they got little kids, you call in and talk to them. If something happened to your house and your cell phone's working, you call the radio show and they'll send the paramedics or the cops to come dig you out in case you're stuck in your house, okay, and you can't get out and the ceiling fell down. It's a nice show. I can't believe these people still do it, but it's a good thing down here. And you can listen to it. When we're having the hurricanes, you can go on iHeartRadio and listen to them talking to us live on the air while we're going through the hurricanes. Oh, next time I'll call in. I was sitting listening to it during Milton and Helene, and I was gonna call in, but I didn't want to waste the battery for the phone on hold. I didn't know when we were gonna see the sun again. But yeah, they're getting better at that stuff. I wish they were by you guys. We'll have to send them a video of what we do on the news down here. But these people are good. They're nice. They stay in the studio. They're in one of those giant buildings. I wouldn't want to be in a high rise in the middle of Orlando with tornadoes going past and hurricanes. No, thank you. And my stuff never went off either with all the little tornadoes all around. We're supposed to have that emergency warning system we put in. It doesn't work. It never goes off. Ever. Didn't go off during hurricanes. Didn't go off with all these tornadoes zipping past. Nothing. Nothing. It's like the emergency alert system. And they tested it. They turned it on. Made everybody's iPad and phone go crazy for 3 days. It don't work. It only worked during the test. When they went to use it, it doesn't work. It's like all that money for nothing, right? Nitwits. $50 million for an emergency alert system that doesn't work. The Amber Alert works. They should just use that. I don't know why they don't. That's the only one that ever comes through. Just use their system. Oh, man. Well, that's been some crazy. And I've been watching all the videos from all over. Nutty snowstorms. There was supposed to be a dust storm blowing through like parts of Texas and another state. But I never heard anything about that ever. So I don't know if it was a joke and it didn't happen. I don't know. Or it was just a freak thing and stopped. But it was supposedly bad and it was taking over buildings. It looked like the one from the 1800s or 1920s that just wiped out half of the Midwest with a sandstorm. We get those down here. That's the bad thing with all this wind like this. It's just sand blowing and that baby powdered dirt we have from all the crushed up seashells eventually turn into baby powder, like cornstarch. And then you got this baby powder dust that just sticks to you like glue. And then the sand coming at you. I had to shut all the windows the other day. I couldn't even leave them open. It was even coming in through the gutter guard stuff because that has a plastic mesh on the back. Everything was just like covered in dirt still. Thought it was raining. It's leaves blowing. We're freezing up again. Okay. But yeah, did everybody else make it okay? It's like weird weather winter. Although I wouldn't want to be up in the Northeast this year. Although that's a typical storms for New Jersey. It used to snow twice. We had snowstorms twice a week. I used to walk to high school. We always had feet of snow. It was like just permanently like a foot of snow on the sidewalks in Jersey, especially on the Hudson River. And New York, it used to snow all the time in the city. I heard about that. I heard about that. I didn't know it was in Jasper. I heard about the Alberta avalanche. I was watching part of, it must be the same one because I don't think there was more than one. The rescue people were there, and there was like, it was hundreds of feet of snow, over 200 feet deep, and they were, and the more, as they were digging, it was filling in. It was like trying to dig in sand at the beach. As you're digging it out, more just falling back in. They just, they said there was too big an area to even try to find them. They tried though. That was awful. You know, it sucks when you gotta give up. And they don't give up easy, you know. I hope that nobody gives them shit about that. You know, that's the last thing they ever want to do is stop, you know. But there's just no way. Uh, it's all the crazy skiers got to get out on the fresh powder. Don't they know? What's wrong with them? Nobody's ever going to learn about skiing in those storms up there. They used to do it in Jersey all the time, upstate New York. People disappear all the time because they're stupid. Oh, hold on. I'm trying to fix my curtain. I'll have to look that up. I don't know what time these guys are coming back down. Then I'm going to have nothing tomorrow. We probably won't have internet tomorrow. We didn't yesterday or the day before when they were docking up there. No, hey, sunshine. Oh, that's good. Good. You guys had it for a while over there, too. Last year was your year. I don't know who was getting it worse, Texas or Florida last year. I think you guys went through the craziest weather. We saw, that's all I see over here for like, say the last 9 months, a lot of Texas plates, especially right before your storms come. And it's just Texas all over the place over here. Nobody stays in the panhandle. They all must have a lot of relatives this way. Because there's nothing to do here. So when I was complaining about the thing, someone said, oh, it's spring breakers. I said, no, it's not spring breakers. We don't get spring break here. There's nothing. We don't have bars. And any place that sells alcohol closes at 8 o'clock. Everything closes at 8. That's it. Dry town. We don't want that here. So everybody shuts down, even by the hotels. Over in Cocoa Beach, everything closes. They got ordinance. That's it. Nothing open past 10 p.m. Even Chili's, Fridays, all those places, you know, the sports bars. No, 10 o'clock. Everybody out. Go home. Said the liquor store will be open at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Don't worry. Go drink on the beach all day and sleep it off, you know. But yeah, we got nobody here. Just the snowbirds. I couldn't even get back to see the doctor until the end of the month. I was supposed to see him today. Well, before today, I was supposed to see. Well, I saw him last week for the lump, but he only had 5 minutes. He was busy. And she gave me the appointment for Monday, the 24th. I said, I'm going to go past my time. I said, I'll call them and see what happens. They're not going to get upset. He's busy. What do you want from me? You got to get the end of the year visit in, and we're going to be a couple of days late. So sometimes they bitch and complain, but now when I see him on Monday, I probably can't see him again until the end of April. He is booked solid with everybody who just came from the north to the south. Although I don't know why they didn't do their prescriptions and do all their stuff up there. They got to do it when they come down. I said, is he that busy? I said, he got more patients? And she says, no, we only took on 2 new patients. This is all the people coming back, checking in. I was like, oh, crap. It's like they're doing their yearly thing coming down here. I'd like to know how that works. I can't go to a doctor in the next county, but these people can come from Montana, hang out in Florida for 4 months, and see my doctor. That's the other thing. This is why everybody gets pissy about the people who don't live here and the snowbirds. You can't go to see your doctor because he's too busy with them. Come Christmas, you got to see your doctor at least by October, because you're never going to see him again until January, because all those people are going to be leaving to go back and do their thing, and it's ridiculous. You can't get an appointment at the doctor. You can't get your blood work. You can't get nothing done. You can't get nothing done with the influx of people coming and going like that. You saw that 5-mile backup of just locals showing up. Thank God. My family don't live where the tourists come, and not where any spring breakers ever show up. We always live in the sleepy fishing towns where everything closes at 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock. All the foods, everything's closed. Closed. I left where I was because that's it. The sun goes down, everything shuts. Even when the sun's up till 9 o'clock. Sometimes in the summer, come holidays, they stay open till maybe 9. But not for alcohol. That's why it's usually, it's always pretty nice here. You don't have to worry. It's just the local kids drag racing down the street every night. And I don't know why the cops are letting them do that. Yeah, right. It's always good to have the doctor close. My doctor was like right in my backyard. It was like 1 block away. That's why I like it, where I am too, It's small. I don't like the big places no more. I'm tired of that. Tired of driving, taking 2 hours just to get to the doctor, because I had to take the turnpike to get to Newark from New York, from up here, from the bridge to it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. Having to see specialists and stuff. I was like, by the 3rd visit out there, I would leave at 7 in the morning. I wouldn't get home, and then trying to get through the traffic. That was for like a 1 o'clock appointment. Just having to leave my house to get through the morning traffic, to get there by 12. So thank God I wouldn't be late, because I had to be there at 1. Then waiting for him, driving through the traffic, having to get home because I have a 3-hour appointment because it takes so long to get there, and we lump everything in the one visit, with x-rays and scans and the blood work and all that. Everything's done in the hospital while I'm doing my visit. So I'm running around getting scans and x-rays and MRIs and blood tests and dropping off pee, and then going back to the 10th floor waiting for the test results to come back up. You do it all in one. It's like an emergency room visit. I would get home, I'm not kidding you, at 8:30 at night. It was 16-hour, 12-hour day, and I have to take food with me. Because I couldn't afford the hospital cafeteria. It was too expensive. But I'm grateful to do this now. Around the block. There I go. Now it's even better. I pull up. I have to move the car at 6 in the morning. I said, well, I'm going to be there early, even before you open. I said, give me the earliest appointment you got. I said, because I'm going to be in the parking lot. I have to leave where I am. And he's like, I don't care. Come park in the parking lot to your appointment. Just don't park by the front door. I said, I'll park in the end. He said, and then when it's your time to come in, pull in and park right by the front door. I'm like, okay. So now I just get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, pull in his parking lot, go back to sleep, set my alarm for 8:30, get up and walk inside. Now I don't care. I got everything with me. And I can go back to sleep. Oh my God. That was funny the first time I did it. I should have videotaped that. Waiting for the doctor to get here. It's like, damn, he doesn't show up till right before the appointment. I thought he was in there early. He's running in the door 10 minutes before I know when the first appointment is at 7:30. And he's running in there at 20 after 7. I said, haha, gotcha. Leave a note on the door. I was already here. You're late. But yeah, very nice. Although I like to see one big crazy snowstorm. I wanted to go so bad when it snowed up north. And then I thought, no, God forbid. And I thought the other day when I had the near miss, God stopped me. He broke the car so I couldn't go up there. Right? I was like, what are you going to do? We don't have snow tires. You don't have antifreeze. I have to go get an oil change and drain out the antifreeze and put new stuff, winter antifreeze in. And the coolant, the thing. I was like, this is going to cost a lot. Just to go see some snow. I'm not prepared for this. What if I get stuck? But thank God the car wasn't working properly then. I would have did it. Just in case. But I'm just staying here. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. But I broke it. When that happened, I had broke my rule. That was the night that the moon was turning red. And I left where I was at like 5:45. And I don't do that. I get off the road by 4:30 the latest. That's it. Park and let the maniacs go home. And I don't get on the road until 7:30. That's it. 8 o'clock. The 2 stores I go to, one's open till 11 for the food, and there's food at this other one till 10 o'clock. So if I need anything at night, I can zip, go get it, and be gone. The only thing that'll open till 9 or 10 o'clock are the food stores. No bars, which is funny. The bars close down at 8 o'clock, and the stores are still open. Those ones till 10. Dollar General, stuff like that, Dollar Store, Walgreens, you can go to those stores, but everybody else is closed. But I broke my number 1 rule. Don't drive in the afternoon traffic. But I wanted to get a picture of the moon. I wanted to get into a spot because there was going to be a rocket launch over the red moon. So I was trying to get into a space where I knew I could film both things together, Nah. No more. All that for a video. I almost lost everything. So, thank you, Lord. I appreciate it. I just got everything put back together again. I got the bed back together. Everything's put back in place again. There we go. Whee! I like that candle. No. I got everybody hung back up, put into place. My chandelier. Oh, I put the star on it. I like that. But, yeah. 3 days of putting the van back together was not worth getting a picture of the red moon. Yeah. High street life. Yeah. With Publix in between and Walgreens on the corner. I just want a strip mall that's got each one of them side by side in it. I want Walgreens, Dollar General, Family Dollar, the Dollar Tree. And I'd like to get a Trader Joe's in there somewhere. The only Trader Joe's is like 25 minutes away in a nasty place. It's not worth risking my life for Trader Joe's stuff. I keep thinking about it, and then I realize I gotta get out of the car. And not such a good idea. You know? I was like, it's not worth it. It's okay. I'll figure something out. I wonder if you can order Kroger's to a parking lot. Well, some of them deliver to the campground. I could just say, I'll wait for you up front. They might do it. I did my first Walmart pickup the other day. I was sitting in the parking lot. I got gas, I got ice, and I was Walmarting it because the other storm was coming, so I was hanging out there all day. And I said, you know what? I want this, that, and the other thing. And everybody was shopping like crazy. It was a busy day. And I was like, oh, I don't want to go in the big store. Place is getting mobbed. I got a good spot over here. I'm charging up. I got a good wind. I said, the hell with it. And I was looking through the phone, and I saw the Walmart app. I said, oh, stupid. Let me see how much you need to do a Walmart pickup. $10 minimum. I ordered $15. So I ordered what I wanted from inside to food. And it said, we'll let you know when it's ready. And I'm sitting there I'm watching a movie. The phone goes, bing. It says, your order's ready. Let us know when you're on your way. And a little button says, I'm on my way. So I said, cool. I hit I'm on my way. I jump in the front. I start the car. I drive all the way to the other side of Walmart, pull in the pickup. And I said, I'm here, number 9. The kid scared the crap out of me. He was like standing right at the door coming out as I pulled in. I was like, did I do that right? And he's like, yup. Yes, Yellow Bandit. How are you doing? Hey, Sunshine. They're few and far between. We finally had gotten 2 in New Jersey. My mother was hooked on Trader Joe's. How you doing? But, yeah. That's the epitome of lazy van life. Everybody's walking into Walmart. Hell with that. I called my order in from the parking lot and just drove around the corner. Drove to the front of the store. It was parked down by the flowers. And I said, where's your pickup? And the lady's like, it's on the other side. I was like, okay, thank you very much. I hung up and I started the car and drove around. Is it a $35 minimum? Ooh, they'll bring out one bag. Maybe because we have so many old people here. You know? half the state is over 65. Another quarter of the state are people who have cancer. And the rest are women just in between picking up or dropping off their children to school. But yeah, I thought that was cool. I was like, this is just being lazy. But it was just too busy. The parking lot was crowded. I said, let me give it a shot. I said, this is great. I have to place my order at 6 in the morning when I get up. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to wake up while I'm still in bed, place my order for Walmart, then drive over to Walmart, pick up my ice and everything else, then pull in the back parking lot for the rest of the day. Oh, man. Yeah, these tornadoes are getting out of hand. Did you see the video of the big black one that was going across like a field? I was watching a video of it, but I had also seen it live on one of the tornado channels, like Max Velocity or the bunch of kids in their cars. There's a couple of them. I was watching that. I always loved the movie Twister. I never saw the second one. Everybody said the trailer for the movie looked excellent. It looked good. It looked almost even better than the first one. But I always loved that movie. But that's some crazy. I like to watch it just to study it. So in case there's one coming, you learn how they move. You know what I mean? Just try to figure out when it's coming. Am I going this way? Am I going left? Am I going right? Where the hell am I going? I was watching those kids to learn. You know, in case one hit the parking lot. I was doing a live stream last summer. I had moved my car from one spot to another space, maybe like 15 feet away. I decided to get out of the way. Not even 2 minutes later, lightning hit the space I was in that I had just moved from. And then we had all the little tornadoes coming. And I was like, I don't know where to go and what to do. I don't deal with those. We had a couple in Jersey. That's when I was realizing everything was changing. After Hurricane Sandy, about 2 years later, we started getting these little crazy tornadoes in New Jersey. I was on a overpass coming off the turnpike. I was working at the cargo pier with the Navy base. And I was on my way back, and I had to drive up this little bridge all the way to a mountain. So there's nothing underneath it. It's just a steep bridge, metal, going halfway up the mountain like this. So it's pretty steep. And it's 2 lanes going up and 2 lanes coming back. No divider in the middle. Just paint. Concrete. I'm in my little Kia. Some woman's in a little Toyota. As we're coming like this, it was raining, it was windy, we were getting these crazy thunderstorms, and they said, oh, chance of tornadoes. Little skinny finger one comes spinning right at the bridge. As we were passing each other, she's driving down and I'm driving up, so we're looking at each other, driver to driver, right? This tornado comes through, shoves our cars together, and starts spinning us around as one thing. We went around 4 times. She's holding the wheel, I'm holding the wheel, she's screaming, I'm screaming, just spun us in a circle. We ended up facing the wrong way. Like, instead of going up the hill, I was now going down. We're like this. She goes, what the hell was that? I said, it was a little tornado. It's okay. It's okay, it's gone. It's over there. Are you sure? She was freaking. I was like, holy crap. but none of our cars didn't even, we got a little scratched, but it pushed us together and just shoved us spun us as one object. Thank God. After that, that was it. I stopped going up that stupid bridge. I said, I'm staying on the ground. That's it. I'm done. Oh, wait. No, stop that. Okay. Hey, Carol, how's it going? I'm reading Teresa's. I just thought, how lazy was I that I'm ordering it from the van? I said, everybody else is. How have you been? You're doing okay. They're very fast, but they're very loud. When they say it's like a freight train, I can tell you honestly, living 15 feet from the railroad tracks with my double wide, the bed would actually rock. My whole house would shake with the train going past. It was only like 20, 25, 40 feet away from the end of the property, okay? It's louder than a freight train. It's deafening. I mean, there's no mistaking what this noise is. It's just so loud. So you understand, it sounds like a train going past, but 10 times louder. 10 times louder. And everything gets dark. Everything gets black. That's it. It goes from day to night in like 2 seconds. And it's just, usually you could probably count to 15 and it'll be past unless it's a slow moving, great big one. I wouldn't even want to know what those giant ones that they have in the Midwest that are like a half a mile wide even sound like. I'd be crying. I'd be peeing myself. I swear to God. But the thin, tall ones sound like a freight train. Those other ones just gotta sound like I don't know what. But everybody was scared because during the last couple of storms, we were getting odd tornadoes that are actually wider instead of bigger, and they sound like a moan. Ooh, sounds like some scary Halloween music, like ooh, like that. And it was just moaning, and everybody's, what the hell is that noise? During Milton, Helene, and the one that came before that, I saw grown men freaking out just over the noise that those tornadoes were making above our heads. You could hear it getting started before it comes down. And I think that's the noise we were hearing, was a big one trying to form as it was going by, but it didn't have enough to come down. That I didn't like. That creeped me the hell out. It was like the devil. I don't know what it was, but it scared grown men to where they were almost crying. Yeah. Hi, Rob. They are. They're very, very scary. Because you got nowhere to go. Richard went to run outside during the first hurricane to check on something that was flapping. As he's getting to the end of the house, I said, wait. And he was running. I said, stop running. And he's like, why? I said, you got to peek around the corner. Don't just run around the corner. You don't know what the hell's coming this way. Just as he's about 10 feet from the end of the house, a huge piece of siding of someone's roof went, phew, like 200, like a freight train coming past. He turned around and started running back to me. He said, hell with it. I don't care. Let it fall off. I said, get back in the freaking house. And I'm yelling at him not to go outside. But he'd never, it was the first, this was before the house lifted up in the air. And then we saw my next door neighbor. Our houses are only 25 feet maybe apart. When it lifted up our bedroom, when we were crying in the bedroom, saying goodbye forever, it dropped my house, and at the back, where we're even here, he had an extension. He had his laundry room came off the end. He added an extra room, like attached a shed to the end of his trailer. So now he had a little tiny box on the end of this rectangle. Well, as it dropped my house, it went 25 feet to the left and took his little room and twisted it like this, and it was just standing straight up like a bunch of straws sticking out all the aluminum siding. He went out. I looked around the corner, said, and I'm looking at my bedroom, looking at that bedroom, looking at my bedroom, thinking, holy shit, that could have just twisted us with the bed. That's the wall we were laying up against during that one. He turned around, he grabbed my hand, he said, let's go inside. He came back in. He said, can you make me a sandwich? I said, yeah. He's all calm. I hear him walking back to the bedroom. He shuts the door. He went into the bathroom. He got sick and threw up. It freaked him out so bad, it made him nauseous that he vomited when he realized that's what was holding us up in the air. You know, he said that could have He came out, he sat down, had a drink, a shot. He said that could have been our bedroom. I said, it was our bedroom. He said, what do you mean? I said, that's what you saw happen to that. That's what had the house. That's why we were standing up on the bed. He went over, got the bottle, took another shot like this. He said, that didn't even hit me. Just like that. He said what was bothering him was that it missed us, and 10, 15 feet away just took my neighbor's house and twisted the crap out of it. He said, these things are wacky. He said, why does it drop one thing? And then I said, it just does. Whatever it gets a hold of. It couldn't lift our house because we were tied down too far. My father paid to have them drill down over, I think it was 25 feet. Normally they only go down 10 feet. He paid them $5,000 extra to go 3 times as deep to tie the whole double wide down. If he hadn't done that, that house would have flipped, either that time or with me and the cat during Nicole and Ian. I'd never made it to Milton. I forget which one came first, either Ian or Nicole. I think it was Nicole came first, because Ian wasn't supposed to come. And then like 10 hours before we were supposed to hit Bermuda, it took a left turn and just came right at us and showed up. We were unprepared for that. They kept saying, it's not coming, it's not coming. Have a great night. Hi, Rob. Have a great night, Yellow Bandit. Take care of yourself. Come back again. We'll be back as long as I can get on. Between the sun and the internet, I want to scream some days, but I'm trying. I'll see you guys soon. Yeah, we've been an hour and a half. How you doing, Rob? Yeah, it was very scary. So, all in all, I think I'd rather ride it out in the car and try to outrun it. That's why I'm also watching these kids. How close can you get? You know, and they got caught up in a tornado last night, and the night before they got a little too close. And I think it spun their car because all of a sudden the video looked like it was moving. There were complete sides of houses going past their windshield. So I've been watching to see, watching how it moves, watching them driving in the car. How close can you get before it starts lifting your car and pushing you sideways, So I'm just trying to bulk up. I don't know a lot about tornadoes, but I'm learning now. I know what to look for in the clouds. My uncle taught us how to spot them also, because with our boats, my uncle and my grandpas were all Navy. So we lived on the water, grew up on the water. 4 years old was probably my first trip in the boat, and teach us in case we're out there with friends being idiots to watch the clouds, how to learn. So the Navy captains, taught us how to, read the clouds down here. God forbid we're on the beach and we get caught up in a storm being stupid, You could die out here. No, that's cool. We got this crazy train over here. This little commuter train that goes by doing like 130 miles an hour. It's insane. It keeps hitting cars. I wish they would slow it down. Oh, okay. Wow. Oh, I know. You guys, Rob, geez, in North Carolina, I'm so sorry for you guys. So sorry. You guys got whacked like 3 times in a row up there. We got it bad, but you guys just got destroyed. How are you guys doing up there? Oh, wow. You go hide in the cooler, in the refrigerator, right? Where the hell are you going to hide? I wouldn't want to be caught outside or in the stores with that. I was watching all that up there. We were glued down here. We weren't even watching what was happening here. I have I have North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Virginia, and Louisiana, Alabama. I have all your news stations, the ones that stay on during the storms. I subscribe to all of those just so I could see what's happening. Used to be my job. But Hurricane Sandy, that was after Sandy, the hurricanes down here they're not so bad to me now. You know what I mean? I mean, when we were under 15 feet of water. We were up to 3 stories deep in New Jersey. 3 stories. You're talking 30 to 40 feet, technically 4 stories with these tall ceilings in those apartment buildings they have in the inner cities. Some of these people got 11-foot ceilings in their condos. So they said three stories. Yeah, 3 stories, not 10-foot ceilings. These people got 12-foot ceilings. They have an extra 2 to 3 feet on the rest of us. That was madness. That was just complete madness, Hurricane Sandy. That was just unreal. The ocean that whole river, it was 8 feet in less than like 10 minutes. 10 minutes. The entire Hudson River just took over half our town and buried everybody up to the roofs of their old-fashioned 2-story farmhouses that we still have down there in the original part of my town outside the Lincoln Tunnel. That was insane. No, I know. It's just everything just disappeared. All the last of our piers were gone on the Hudson River. Buildings that had been there since the town was built, and we're talking the 1700s. We stole Manhattan from the Indians, old stuff. It was the destruction was unbelievable. New York's still having problems. All these buildings falling down and streets caving in and stuff. That's gonna go on for another 20 years. It was crazy. We had one building after another collapse. An entire block of buildings was just collapsing one after the other from the water being like that. That was it. It destroyed. I can't tell you what we went through. And then after 9/11, with all of that, the streets in Manhattan were just caving in, giant sinkholes. You were just driving in rush hour and like 20 cars would fall into a giant hole. It wasn't on TV. They're trying to keep that crap quiet because in between all of that, we were never sure. Within, say, 2 years after hurricane, everything was fine. When the water receded, we had some problems, some issues, but it was almost 3 years after Sandy when stuff started going nuts. We had gas lines exploding. It was like a war zone over there. They were shutting off gas all over New York. It was crazy. It was crazy. Buildings were blowing up, houses were blowing up, just everywhere, all over. Like 5 different boroughs out to Long Island, in New Jersey, we just had explosions. We started freaking out. It was freaking everyone out because we didn't know what the hell was going on. It would be like 9 hours investigating to finally figure out it wasn't terrorists. This is damage from the hurricanes. Everything is just collapsing. I was like, oh, that was madness for a while. Yeah, water is insane. I lived at the Army base in South Jersey, near Matahawken. I was about 4 years old. My dad was on his way back, coming back from leave. He wasn't in the house, but this crazy, like, hurricane storm was coming. It used to flood all the time in South Jersey, but not to the extent like what you guys just got up to your rooftops. So we were in a little 2-floor, little apartment building. Okay, Army base housing. You got 4 apartments, 2 on the bottom, 2 on the top, and it looks like a giant house. You know what I mean? With 2 front doors, okay? We were on the top floor. Now that's back in the day where you had 12-foot ceilings, okay? Everybody's ceilings used to be 12 feet tall, and then we shortened them down to get more people in the buildings and made them 10 feet tall. I used to work with a housing inspector. So my dad wasn't there. They had just gotten back. All of a sudden, the rain came, the rivers flooded, overflowed. That was it. Vroom, the water starts rising. Now it's the neighbors are in our apartment because the water started coming in on the 1st floor apartment. So now we're up 12 feet. Wow. Water is now even with my bedroom window on the 2nd floor. It's me, my mother, and the lady downstairs and her kid. Okay, the unit all lived together. So all the 11 guys in my dad's Delta Force unit, we all lived in the same buildings together like a family. Okay, they put us always together. So all of a sudden we hear noise. It's a bunch of the rubber raft boats with the little motor on the back, pulling up to my bedroom window, pulling everybody out. My father's pulling me out. The water's rushing in, coming in. They kicked out the bedroom window. He's pulling me out of the square, out of the window, into the boat. All of a sudden, as my feet are getting in the boat, I turn. My window went from even with the boat to down here. We rose above my mother. Water's rushing into my bedroom window. I sat there watching my mother drowning with water pouring in like a waterfall now into the bedroom window, filling up our whole house, while my father is from the waist down in the window trying to pull my mother out while 3 guys are holding him by the legs. The second time it happened, they moved us. It happened twice to the same complex. The second time, my mother said, that's it, I want to be on the 1st floor, in my car, out of here. She didn't want to be upstairs no more. But I had pictures. I have to see, I don't know if I still have one, of me sitting in our VW van and my father up there with the rowboat by the house. I have a picture of the water maybe 6 inches below my 2nd-story bedroom window of that Army base. So after that, they ended up closing that base housing, tearing it down, and then they relocated all of us upstate New York up to the one by West Point. And we ended up going upstate New York from South Jersey. Yeah. Well, water's scary as hell. I don't like water. I love boats and stuff like that, but I've been in the water. I've almost drowned in the ocean. Richard almost drowned in the ocean a couple of times in high school and as an adult. We went in one time when we got here. We stayed in too late. I wasn't watching the time. We went in at like 3 in the afternoon. That was stupid. You don't go in the water after 3 in the afternoon down here. The change in the tides and stuff, and that's when the current comes. And we stayed over an hour floating around the water. By 4, a little after 4, instead of coming in, the tide's now going back out. So it's hard to get back onto the beach when the water's all sucking out that way, because now low tide. Instead of the waves coming in to the beach, now they're going back out for the rest of the night. And you're trying to swim and you're just standing in place. It took us everything Richard had to get us out. What he did was he took me, and as we went up on a wave, he grabbed me from underneath and threw me over the water. As now we went up in the air, he threw me into the hole, like threw me off the cliff of the wave that we must have went up like 15 feet straight in the air. I was screaming. He pushed me off the cliff. I fell straight down into the water, but that wave was on the way in. So he ended up swimming out of the top of it, coming down behind me, and we finally made it. It was madness getting back on the ocean. So you got to watch your tides. People drowned all the time on vacation down here. Richard he came home, he was hysterical. He was crying so hard he couldn't even speak to me. He hands me the phone, and I see that the guy from work is on it. And he goes in the bedroom, shuts the door. He's crying his brains out. I said, "What happened?" A little 8-year-old kid swam out too far. They couldn't get him. 2 people on a surfboard found him. They brought him in. Richie and the guy who was on the phone did CPR trying to save him. The parents were gone. They couldn't find the parents. They all died. And these were guests at his hotel. They've been there, they were staying for like 2 months, and he had gotten to know them and playing with the kid at the pool and getting them toys and shit, and you know what I mean, floaties for his arms. They gave them 3 days off because they had to bring him in. And I was like, "I don't do this for a living. I fix plumbing. I'm chasing little kids and bringing them on the beach and doing." "Well, how do you do this?" he says. Later on, we were talking. I said, "It's rough. It's rough. Children are bad. We never found the parents yet." They were calling the grandparents in, I say, Nebraska, to come fly in. They found a phone number. They cops went through the room, called their relatives. It's scary down here. The ocean ain't no joke. Everybody acts like it's a swimming pool. Yeah, that undertow, that got me in high school. I was just going sideways like 40 miles an hour. It was insane. It was like being towed by a jet ski. And all I saw were the rocks coming. There was a jetty out. We were down at this Jupiter Inlet, where it goes out into the Atlantic Ocean. And my uncle's screaming. You can't hear from the beach. The water's so loud. People are yelling to you. You can't hear nothing. Finally, all of a sudden, somebody grabbed me by the foot. Had a snorkel, scuba diver, jumped off a thing, grabbed me, and then another guy pulled me into a boat. I was crying. My uncle's yelling, "Don't go feet first." I said, what? He said, if you go feet first, you're going to break your ankles and your feet. He said, try to hit it sideways. You want to break your arm, not your legs. I was like, quick decide. You want to smash into the rocks doing 40 miles an hour with the current? Or do you want to break your arms or your legs? Pick one real quick. Watch your head. And finally, that guy grabbed me. I don't even know. I don't even remember. I was so freaked out. I was like 14. I never went in the ocean again until I went in with Richard when we first got here. And that was it. He never set foot in the ocean again. Never set foot. 10 years we never went back into up to your knees, maybe the waist. That was it. That was it. Yeah, you can walk out really far. That's what's very deceiving, especially on the West Coast. You could walk out up to your knees or maybe the middle of your thigh for like a half a mile. But then all of a sudden that water comes in and starts filling up. And I was like, oh shit, here, why is the water getting higher? Like all of a sudden I noticed it went from the middle of my thigh to my waist. I said, oh shit, time to go. And I tried to walk and it's pulling, the water gets you. That's it. You can't fight water. I hate water. That's why I live at the beach. But yeah, you gotta have respect for water. It's not a joke. It looks so easy, Yeah, that's right. The last time I was in, I was 14 when the guy saved me from crashing into the rocks. And, what, 50? 40 something? That's it. Never went back in again. I sit at the surf and hang out. But I've been on the beach. I've been here my whole life, between here and the Jersey Shore. So I've seen it all. There was a girl staying at one of the hotels, and she was standing up to her knees, just in the waves coming in, hitting her above the knees. A shark came in, like, I forget what they call it. I think it was a tiger shark. It was a small one. Wasn't a great big one. It was only like a, say, 6 or 8 foot thing, like the size of a dolphin, small. That thing ate her calf. She was standing like 15 feet away. I'm watching her and her boyfriend. They're playing, throwing a ball back and forth, like playing volleyball with the waves coming in, just standing there getting wet, having fun in the surf. And a shark came in and bit off her calf muscle right to the bone. Like you were cleaning a little chicken bone. There was nothing. Oh my God. That was gross. That was the worst thing. Then I stopped sitting in the surf. There was nothing to do with the ocean. Sharks, jellyfish. There's so much crap in the sand. Little crabs. There's all kinds of stuff. I don't like the beach. I like sitting there and listening and smelling and watching, but the beach is awful once you start getting to the water. I went snorkeling one time with my cousin. I was probably 12. And he took me to a small part. And it was the first time I wanted to learn how to scuba dive. My whole family scuba dives, the friggin' Navy. My cousins, they water ski, scuba dive. I wanted to learn to scuba dive with them. So he took me out snorkeling to see, show me what's really in the water. So it went like a whole class of kids my age. My cousin came with them to take care of me, So we went out and we're swimming around and we're looking, just floating. Look, we don't even going anywhere. We're just looking down and floating. Then we dove down. We had to learn how to hold our breath. So we held our breath. We went down. We were maybe a foot under the water. It was a real shallow little place by the rocks. We were just learning how to snorkel. not out in the ocean with big waves, just a little tide pool kind of place. All of a sudden, I'm looking like this. I go to move. My cousin grabs my head like this, and I'm like, I can't move. And I'm like, all of a sudden, he slowly turns my head. It was a huge ass barracuda with a mouth this big, bigger than my face, going by. He must have been 8 feet long. My cousin just kept holding my head like, don't move. And he kept going by, going by, going by. He goes like, okay, we're going up. So we go up. I'm like, ah! I take that shit off. I threw it down. They're crazy. If anybody scuba dives is insane. They're crazy people. They are. Surfers and scuba divers. People are nuts. Mm-mm. Oh, yeah. Now, Jaws, that happened. That actually happened. It wasn't in New York. That happened in New Jersey. Long Island always gets the credit for that, but that didn't happen there. The real Jaws happened in Jersey. And we had a 17-foot great white. I forget what her name is. I think her name is Mary or Martha. She lives in the Hudson River. She's been living there for like 20 years. She came from Florida, came up in some storm years ago, and she never left. After Hurricane Sandy, forget it. We got orcas, we have dolphins, we have whales, and a crap load of great white sharks that have never left the Hudson River. It was crazy. Crazy. During Sandy, we had sharks swimming down the streets for like 6 months. The water wouldn't recede. That was the bad thing. There was so much water from Hurricane Sandy. It was a year before we could get anybody in to the second story of a house that was level to the Hudson River bed. It was nuts. The last person got in, I think it was a year and 4 months before we could get everybody into the second stories. They still couldn't live on the first floor just in case. We were worried. Things were a mess. Our last FEMA shelter closed 2.5 years after the night of the storm. That was it. We went, my shelter was supposed to only be 300 max for comfortability, you know? Then it went from 300 to 500. I said, all right. I said, you know, the max we could probably get in here is like 1,000. We got the lobby. I got offices. I got a laundry room. No problem. We got to start putting people on floors, you know. We had the Marines come in. That's who I work with, too. They come in, they bring all the supplies and the cots and the food and the blankets, and they bring us all that stuff. So we organize all the people inside. I went to the store to go to Pathmark. We commandeered all the supermarkets, everything, shut everything down. We took Walgreens over, everything. Forget it. Nobody's driving. If you're in your car, you go into jail. That was it. We did like a martial law. No one, if you're on the street, you're getting arrested. So stay the hell home. If you need something, call here. We'll bring it to you. Don't worry. We had special phone numbers that we were having the cops and everybody else delivering stuff. We had also a lot of fishermen. We had a lot of boats, a lot of things, so they were zipping around town to bring people stuff, supplies and food. We're very organized. A lot of people from my town are from the south, so they know what they're doing, you know? So, it was bad. It was bad. So I went to Pathmark to go pick up supplies because it was going to be our last run. Things were starting to flood. And I'm listening to the radio, to the guy on Z100, which is the top radio show. Yeah, I know. To southern Arizona. I don't know where to go. And then get the hell out of there. I feel so bad. Where are you living now? Did you fix your house? These woodpeckers banging on the aluminum gutters. He sits there all night going, on. That's all you hear. They like pecking on the metal down here. Little jerks, stick to the tree. So I'm listening to the radio station, and he's giving out all the addresses of places to go and stuff like that. He says, oh, we just got an update in on that Jersey site over there, right outside the hut, right outside the Lincoln Tunnel. He starts giving my address out. I said, oh, good, people will hear that. We'll get more to come, and then maybe I could stick some, we're going to open the school up and just take over the school now. We were running out of room. He starts yelling out on the national radio. Now, mind you, I just said my capacity was 1,500, right? That's the max I could have got in there. That site is now up to 3,000 capacity. I almost had an accident driving the car. I said, 3,000, where am I going to put 3,000? Now I'm trying to shove as much crap into my Kia as I can get, and I'm on the phone like, they just said 3,000. They just said 3,000. I'm screaming at my mother on the phone. We're going to have all these people show up. So I'm yelling. They're going to figure it out, and they're straightening it out. They're going to call the radio station. Like, what the hell did you just do? You said the 3,000 people here. I only have 1,500, room for 1,500. I get out of Pathmark. I start the car. I'm on my way back now to the building. He goes, all right, we got an update on that FEMA shelter. It's not 3,000 capacity. I said, oh, thank God they're fixing it. It's 5,000 now. I was like, who the hell is giving out these numbers? Oh my God, we had people coming from all over. We had to call the radio station and tell them, what are you doing? I only have room for 1,500. And then finally we called the governor and said, dude, we're taking over the school. I don't care. We got keys. We're going in. Shut up. I'll tell you what we did later. And we just did it. We had people coming from all over. Oh, shit. Yeah. Oh, wow. That's bad. I'll be checking Arizona. I think what's her name? What's her name there? Phoenix, right? Phoenix, Arizona. Tucson. That's in Arizona too, right? Oh, she's my girl. What's the hell? I just lost her name in my head. Give me a minute. Minivan Lee. She's out there. I was watching hers to see what it was like out there. And I was like, this poor car is never going to make it there. I said, if I got there, I'd probably have to just stay there if I went somewhere that far. I wouldn't be able to leave. I was like, wherever I'm going, that's it. That'll be my last run. I realize that now, this poor girl. I mean, it's good. We've pretty much replaced almost everything on this engine. Is about 70% all brand new parts now. I tell you that after putting in the oil housing unit. I have new alternators. The transmission's only like 4 years old. And I don't drive it anywhere. I mean, I drove the hell out of it when I first got it. When Richard died, I drove around for 6 months. I didn't go home. I packed this van. I threw the cat in, and I took the hell off for 6 months. I didn't go home. The house was falling apart. I could smell the mold from the first two storms. I was like, oh, the house is going. I need to do something. I'm going to need a hotel room quick. And that was before I even saw van life. I started taking the seats. I said, if I just take all the seats out of the van, I could spend the night if I have to evacuate. What the hell am I going to do? I knew I was going to lose the house eventually. And then Ian and Nicole, and that was it. Boom, bam. I got invaded by mice, the field mice. Every animal was running away from the first storm coming this way. So by the time Ian came, oh, that was it. It was no holds bar. I had no floor from the first storm, and I didn't know there was a hole about that big in my walk-in closet. The floor had completely fell out where you're staring at the grass. Somebody got rambunctious and chewed a hole in the carpet because it was just the carpet. So when I went in after the storms were over and saw the flood of water, the waterfalls coming through, I said, wow, the water was that heavy, it ripped the carpet. So I pulled the carpet back and I could see the grass. I said, oh shit, how long has this been like this? Because in between the two hurricanes came so fast, I didn't have time. I wasn't even thinking of the closet. I didn't care. I was trying to get ready for Ian, which came at the end of the month. I had a quarter tank of gas and $10. I ran into my shed, took all my father's tools. Sorry, Dad. Found everything that I could even get $20 for. I sold 2 of my guns, and what was the other thing I sold? A bunch of weed whackers, another chainsaw. My father had 2, so whatever I had 2 of, I took 1 of. And I went and I got like $120 in pawning stuff to get me a tank of gas. He said, why are you bringing all this in? The guy said. I started crying. I said, I got a quarter tank of gas. That's it. He said, you have no money? I said, I don't have any money. I have no money. And then I told him, I said, I was at the World Trade Towers, dude. I have cancer from head to toe. I live on $800 a month. I have $10 to get me till next week, till I get my check for next month. It was coming on like the 27th or the 25th of the month. And I was like, that was it. I only had $10 left and no gas because they said Ian wasn't coming. So he felt bad. He took what I had and he gave me $120. Then I was in the parking lot and I was leaving. I was crying. He said, just fill up the tank and don't spend money on food. He said, save the rest for gas because you're going to run out. And what are you going to do when you run out of the 1 tank of gas? Don't buy food with this money. I said, okay, thanks. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking that. So I got back. I'm used to having gas wherever I need it because we take the gas stations, the first responders like that. You can't get gas, you can't get food, you can't go to Walgreens, we'll bring it to you. No fighting, no looting, no nothing, you have no fighting. And and when I was getting in the car, I started crying and someone's knocking on the window and I look up and it was the other guy from the counter. He was working with someone else selling something else. I think everybody was in there pawning shit to get gas money to evacuate because Ian was coming. We had no food. I had nothing left after Nicole. So the guy handed me a $20 bill. He said, here, he said, now you got $140. Fill the tank, put the rest away for gas. You can always get food. Don't worry. I said, I know. And I told him I'm a first responder. I did Hurricane Sandy. He's like, oh, shit. He said, you can find food, but you're not going to get gas that's not contaminated by water. That's the worst part. But that stupid storm. I love the Carolinas. I like Hilton Head, all over there. I grew up down there. My stepfather's mother was a regional manager for Hilton. So I've stayed in every hotel from Key West to Maine, okay, at any Hilton, Holiday Inn, and I forgot the name of the other one was. But I loved Hilton Head. I love the Carolinas. It's so pretty there. And I love the woods. I like the Virginia woods, all the backwoods. Yeah. Yeah. Always when the animals are running. The animals are running. All of a sudden we started getting a bunch of black bears, and uh we got some mountain lions like close by the beach where we normally don't get bears walking down Cocoa Beach and Daytona Beach. We got them now because the hurricanes kept chasing everything this way. And then they just didn't leave. We had such a huge black bear population in 2018. They were just walking through the hotel resorts, jumping into the swimming pools. They were just living with us. They decided to stay. They didn't want to go back over there because they keep getting chased east from the Gulf storms. I was like, we're going to trade places, but I don't want to go to that side. That's a scary side of the state. We don't get many, but the ones that we get here off the colder water in the Atlantic are just as bad as the hot. They last longer, the storm over here. Ian took forever. Everybody's like, oh, it whipped right through. Freaking no, it didn't. That was like 38 straight hours of 140 to 180. We had a guy at the Air Force Base, 198 miles an hour was the highest recorded speed over there. And that was continuous for over 4.5 hours. So them saying whatever Ian was a 3, screw you. Ian was almost a 5. And for a couple of hours there, it amped up, and that was it. That house was rocking. I stayed by the door. I left the car unlocked with my key. I never dropped my car keys or my cell phone. That was it. I had me, the cat, on a leash, just waiting to jump in the car and get the hell out of that house. That freaked me out. Yeah, you gotta watch your animals and see how fast they run away. Always, my father always taught me that. He said, just do what the animals do. If the animals are running, run with the animals. Do you understand me? Follow the animals. I was like, yes. He said, if you're near water, follow the rats, because they don't swim. They drown. They're trying to get away from the water. Okay. My dad would tell us different things to watch, Mr. Marine, Mr. Doolittle. His animal farm in the backyard. I think my father was breeding wild rabbits underneath the storage unit. The tool shed, I mean. He had a whole little outdoor pet thing going on. I got there, like 50 animals coming out looking at me like this. And I was like, what are you guys looking at? I was like, we had a possum, we had this, we had that, a whole bunch of rabbits just sitting there hanging out. I was like, oh, no. I said, you weren't scared off by the 3 cats that lived here? Obviously not. My father had his own little animal farm going on. But yeah, they all took off. My cat took off. Mouse ran away during Ian. He ran into the back of somebody's tool trailer, the toy hauler. Thank God it was open. He ran out the door, and he was running down the street, and there was the lady next door, and Mouse ran right into his toy hauler. He walked over, shut the door. Through Ian for 7 hours. I had the window open on my door, screaming for Mouse, thinking he was outside. He spent 8 hours in the toy hauler. We had the eye of the storm had come. He went out to go get something. All of a sudden, the wind kicked up. We thought was the eye of the storm. It was a lull, and the wind went crazy. He saw Mouse, jumped out. He grabbed him, shut the door, ran back in his trailer. We had no electricity, no phones, no nothing. So the whole entire storm, I thought Mouse was lost outside. Thank God he ran into the guy's trailer and that he found him. So he stayed through the storm with my next door neighbor with her cat. Poor Mouse. I wanted to kill him. I couldn't talk for a week. Screaming and crying for hours. My poor baby was outside. I almost went out twice, and I was like, how am I going to get out? I can't walk. Even if I was crawling, I'd still get blown away. Oh, Hugo, that was insane. Remember that? Yeah, yeah. Hugo was massive. That thing was crazy. That was like Sandy. That storm was nuts. We had lightning. We had it just everything. There was nothing that storm didn't have like Hugo. Thunder, lightning, hail, tornadoes. It was insane. Yeah, that's why I like horses. Oh yeah, the birds. Hell yeah. They're better than having carbon monoxide detectors. Have little parakeets. Yeah, the horses and the birds, even Mouse was getting edgy right before Ian came, and he was looking to run. And I'm like, it's not coming. Will you calm down? I kept yelling at him, and I kept an eye on him, and I had his harness on, and he was on in the other end of the house. When I had opened the door, I looked, I didn't see him, and then I heard him in the bedroom. And the minute he heard me click the door handle, he made a run for it. And he just ran I had the door open like this. His tail was going out the door. I was like, shit, no. But after the first one of us getting flipped around on the couch, he didn't want to be in the house. Besides the fact that I didn't know there were like 5,000 mice in the walls and the floor and the ceiling. They just took over the whole house. Possums. I had a farm going on. I had to block off my bedroom doors and barricade them shut. I couldn't get these nasty possums out, and they were mean. They were mean. They tore my bedroom apart. They pulled out every drawer of the dresser, ripped that. They were just destroying that room. I didn't know they did that. I thought they were just looking for food. They were ripping everything out of the drawers, opening everything like a raccoon, tearing your garbage apart. A possum did that. He destroyed that room. I threw everything out of the closet onto the bed that I could save that was dry, and I just left everything that I was throwing out, throwing it into the closet to throw it away in between the storms. So I said, well, let me put all the stuff that got wet that I can't keep, let it soak up the rest of the water. And I was just piling stuff onto the floor to try and suck up the 2 feet of water I had. I didn't know what to do. I was pushing the mattress off. At this point, I didn't care. Everything's going in the garbage now. But yeah, that just, between the animals and the mold, and 18 months to come over to even check on us. 18 months before they kicked us out. I thank God every day that I had that long and I had enough to finish the van, just because I couldn't afford a hotel room. Can't afford $300 a night. Once hurricane season starts, they jack that rate up, and then they say, okay, don't gouge everybody. No, you just let them raise it from $100 to $250 a night for $100 room. Piece of crap. Cockroach infested motel. you know? It's like, you can't afford that for 6 months, for $100 a night. Forget it. Oh, wow. I didn't know that, Teresa. That's pretty cool. Your poor dad. I had a couple of my uncle's friends did that for a living, coal miners. Oh, man. What time is it? Listening to what's going on outside. But I'm about to, that's what I'm looking. I'm trying to check this is going. All right. This guy's getting ready to go soon. How long did your father do that? Where did he do that? My mom's family used to do steel and coal mining back in the day. Yeah, right? Vagrant. Yeah, it does. That's crazy. I'm not looking forward to this year. Mm. I was just about to, I was gonna fix the windshield, and I'm like, I might as well just leave it there. I put duct tape on the crack. Oh, okay, okay, okay. All right, I get it. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. Damn, it's getting chilly now. All right, we're about to lose the battery. This thing isn't lasting very long anymore. Stupid phone. It's only a year old. Oh, wait, you disappeared. Stop that. Every once in a while, it keeps stalling on me. But, yeah. So, let's keep our fingers crossed. There's only 5. Mm. I hope you guys dry out up there. Kept hoping they got everybody into a house of some kind. But we were thinking of you and commiserating with you. So everybody's like, oh, you were FEMA. I said, no. I used to kick FEMA out. I was above FEMA. FEMA never did nothing right, that we kicked them out and did it ourselves. Go home. We don't need you. Then we started working strictly with the Miami Marine Unit was assigned permanently to New Jersey, New York, to the Port Authority, New York and New Jersey. We got the Miami 1 unit, 1 platoon, and New York got another one. So we had 2, I think, coming from the south that were permanently assigned to New York after 9/11. So we always got mostly the same group of guys coming back and forth. But yeah, the hell with FEMA. We did it right with the Marines. Give me the stuff. I want the Army supplies. And that's it. I wouldn't be able to do that either. That poor man. Jesus. That's what I said about the claustrophobia thing. So everybody was laughing at me when Sandy went, and then I got stuck in the elevator. I was on in between I was stuck in between floors. I couldn't be on one floor or the other. I was in the elevator, laying on the floor, holding on to the railing, crying like a little girl. In between the 6th and the 7th floors. Now all the cops and firemen are either my friends I went to high school with, their older brothers, or their dads, who I knew with my stepdad, the cop, and my mother, works with the cops and the firemen. We know we're all, first responder family. Oh my God. The crap they were saying to me through the elevator door, like cops and first responders will tease each other relentlessly. You know, if something, I forgot, something happened with my stepdad, and they were arresting somebody, and the kid had a rubber snake in his pocket. He thought it was real. So this is a big guy, 6'4", 240-pound, big ass dude, jumping back, freaking out because he's from Florida and he's used to jumping back from snakes. So when he jumped back and he's screaming, the dude's got a snake in his pocket. The other cop walks over. He said, "Dude, it's rubber. It's a freaking toy." They were leaving snakes and all kinds of shit in his locker for 2 years. 2 years this went on. They would leave it in the squad car. They'd stick it in his shoes while he was on duty. Oh, they were relentless. They drove me nuts because I was crying in the elevator waiting for them to come and get me. Yeah, we will be. You too. Thank you for subscribing, Rob and Kim. Yeah, right? Yeah. Let me tell you, after the plane, I always understood why my dad didn't like sleeping indoors. He had a thing about being in buildings. I'm assuming he got bombed. Besides, in the war with those tunnels and places you gotta go and do. And I greatly appreciated and completely understood. After that, I had a hard time being indoors, just even being in the double wide. Sometimes I have a hard time being in buildings still, and it's, you're not even thinking about it. It's just there. It's like I was safer outside, and that's all your mind knows. So you could have got killed in that building with the plane dropping on you. You would have been fine if you were outside. You know. That I have issues. I get cranky. I get agitated after. I gotta be in and out all day long. All day long. I was sleeping on the screen porch when we first got here. But yeah, little things will get you, right? All right. All right, we're gonna get kicked off any second because this is just about gonna die now. I got my red light is coming on now. I went from green to, it's got like stop sign, green, yellow, and now it's just turning red. I'm gonna buzz off here, turn on the heat, probably for the last time for the rest of the summer, I guarantee you. Break out my heated seat car cover. That thing is excellent. Have a great night. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Rob. I gotta go backwards. Teresa, Robert. Where were we? Kim and Teresa again. Wait, is what's her face still here? Carrie, right? Carrie, I'm going back for the names. Where is everybody? We've been bullshitting with Rob from finding out what's going on in Asheville. I'm glad you came on. Thank you, Rob. We've all been thinking of you. We've been talking a lot about you guys on the channel, so good luck. Have a good night, everybody. Yeah, we're going to have a good rest of the night. I'm going to make soup and pass out. Hopefully. Have a good time. Come back again and take care of yourselves up there. And you too, Teresa. Good night, everybody. I'll see you in a couple of days, okay? I'm going to let the astronauts come home. Watch us splash down tomorrow night. Oh, I don't know about that part. Falling 3 miles straight down and landing in the ocean. That's some belly flop, boy. I don't know about that. Have a good night, everybody. I'll see you in a couple of days, okay? Thank you for coming. Have a good night. And to all the new people, thank you for coming. Good night, Bridget. Have a good night, everybody. Bye. Good night.